feel a sense of accomplishment and facilitate positive L2 emotions. And then, so next I was interested in then what affect this enjoyment, the foreign language learning enjoyment. And then I put this idle into the regression model and run the statistics. And here's what I found. Regardless of their academic year, middle school, high school, and university students, when they practice these idle activities more frequently, are likely to experience greater enjoyment in learning English. So it means idle activities helps EFL learners emotionally. So pedagogically, the teachers can design these idle embedded activities into part of the in-class or out-of-class activities based on the students' interest and also their ICT situation. Then maybe the next question we can have is, okay, idle is good. Then how to initiate this idle? In my opinion, there are three ways we can facilitate this idle. The first one is self-initiated. Second one is parent-initiated. A third one is researcher-initiated. So, so from here, I'd like to give you some empirical, some of the data. So first one is like a case of Rich Chiga. He was the English learner who self-initially start learning English by watching YouTube.
It's Wild 94.1, wild941.com. Joey Franchise, Poppy Shampoo, hair with the Indonesian sensation, man.
Hello, brother.
Hello, brethren. How you doing, man? Rich Chicken's in the building.
I'm doing great, man.
Oh, and you know, this is the first time we met.
Yes.
Dude, you learned English through watching YouTube.
Yes, sir.
How much of YouTube were you watching?
Just every single day. I mean, it could be any video. It's not like people actually teaching English, but it's just like any video where, you know, like could be like a review video, like a product review video, like unboxing videos, or like video game walkthroughs.
So he was born in Indonesia and he didn't go to formal school. He was homeschooled, and at the age of 10, 11, he started watching YouTube and he liked it. And then he put himself in this YouTube environment in English. And at the age of 12, he started speaking English to people on the internet. So this is an example of self-initiated idle learners. It starts from him. Another example is a case of Suja.
There are other studies, though, that are clear. So in South Korea, for example, where the acronym IDLE was proposed by Lee and Dressman, they really have studied quite a bit now if the quantity and diversity of IDLE activities can predict English language learning in Korea. So we have a study in TESOL and a very interesting case of a Korean girl, Suja. She was born and raised in a Korean village, remote, very far from any major city, very humble origins. And atypically, she had never attended one of the private after-school programs that are so popular in Korea. And yet, during early childhood, Suja was a frequent, enthusiastic online player of World of Warcraft in the English version. That's the key, right? And during her primary school years, she also watched many animated movies and dramas in English. And so suddenly, in the transition from the 9th to the 10th grade, she really felt that English clicked for her. And here's how she describes it. Schools aren't built for my learning. I graduated from middle school in the bottom 10% of all students. I was ranked around 290 out of 320. I had no interest in learning English either. But when I was studying English during the winter vacation after 9th grade, I encountered many words I had heard in online games, such as blizzard, again and again in several English textbooks, and I could figure out their meanings by myself, which was really intriguing to me. I began to memorize more challenging words like iconoclasm. The weirder and harder the vocabulary, the more I got excited. Eventually, all of those inputs from online games became a solid foundation for my English. And now she has excellent English, apparently. So during early childhood, the world of Warcrafts gave her massive exposure to oral and written English. And during primary school years, the animated movies and dramas in English allowed her to pick up a large portion of English phonology and a great deal of vocabulary and colloquial expressions. We have similar...
And case of RM, he's the leader of the BTS, K-pop idol. In his case, he started learning English informally with the help of the parents. So
my name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM.
So he's the RM, and these are the team. He said he learned English by watching Friends, but Friends prepared by his mother. So the mother created the environment for him. So this is case of Joanne. She's 10 years old, and there's a partner, another Indonesian friend. But when they play games, they speak English.
I know I cannot crawl, but that's sad.
You know what? Why must we play this thing while we can just get out of the door?
I'm just gonna sit and be like, hey, I was sitting.
No!
So they were born in Indonesia, no international experience, but they play game for 3 to 5 hours every day, and they speak English. So but this environment have been created by the parents. There's another case of Jiho. There was 6 years old, 6 years ago when he was 4, and the parents create this environment like TV.
저렇게 다 외운다니까 자꾸.
아, 보고 있으면 외우는
이렇게 딱 가만히 이렇게 하고 있거든. 그럴 때 외운. Three.
So back then, the TV was the source of the target language, which was English, and now he has YouTube. He speaks 6 languages, and according to his parents, they gave birth to him physically, but YouTube raised a child. But the parents create this bilingual environment. It's also called the maternal English education. This is an emerging trend in English education in Korea. So it is providing a home bilingual environment as a monolingual mother in a monolingual society. And there are a lot of books that talk about this. How parents can create this bilingual environment using digital technologies for the children. I'll skip this. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the researcher-initiated idle activity. So I think you may know this from the TED Talk. So in a rural area, there are students who learn English, but after graduation, they have a problem with the pronunciation. So not many native speakers are willing to come to the village. So the researcher developed this idea. Okay, how about giving them a task, improve the pronunciation, and I give them like a text-to-speech software without any teacher's intervention. And here's the result.
So at the end of it, we concluded that groups of children can learn to use computers and the internet on their own, irrespective of who or where they were. At that point, I became a little more ambitious and decided to see what else could children do with a computer. We started off with an experiment in Hyderabad, India, where I gave a group of children, they spoke English with a very strong Telugu accent. I gave them a computer with a speech-to-text interface, which you now get free with Windows, and asked them to speak into it. So when they spoke into it, the computer typed out gibberish. So they said, well, it doesn't understand anything of what we are saying. So I said, yeah, I'll leave it here for 2 months. Make yourself understood to the computer. So the children said, how do we do that? And I said, well, I don't know, actually. And I, and I left. 2 months later, and this is now documented in the Information Technology for International Development Journal, their accents had changed and were remarkably close to the neutral British accent in which I had trained the speech-to-text.
So here, it was a 5 months project and no intervention, just students autonomously spoke to the computer and their pronunciation have improved. Okay, I'll skip this. So there are 3 scenarios in the world of smart technology. Do we need to learn foreign language? And according to Goodwin Jones, first scenario is language learning is no longer needed because of the AI. The second scenario is language learning is needed, but not formal instruction, because these commercial language learning programs are much better than the formal teachers. The third scenario is blending formal and informal language learning. So, and he liked this idea. He think the scenario 3 seems valid, because today a lot of language learners are learning and using English, using foreign language in the digital environment. So the teacher who know this phenomenon can bring those experience into the classroom to maximize their language learning. I think in that regard, lastly, I think Indonesia has a huge potential of idol, because the young, young educated the students in Indonesia are likely to use smartphone, and they spend a lot of time every day, 9 hours on the internet, 3.5 hours on the social media. But it's powerful because they practice like a productive skill on the internet, and it's very helpful. It helps their communication behaviors, and also it's very helpful for their internet English as international language perspectives. So okay, terima kasih. Thank you for your attention. I'd like to introduce Bu Arifah. I'll stop sharing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Lee, for the very complete explanation about IDLE. And then now we have known like the theory things about the digital learning, and now we are moving on to the more practical thing, and then it will be delivered by Dr. Nur Arifah Drajati. So Miss, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Dewi. Is it okay to share screen?
Yes.
Ya, oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu semua. Ya, alhamdulillah hari ini bisa bertemu dengan Bapak Ibu semua. Saya berbicara dalam bahasa Inggris dan dalam bahasa Indonesia. Jadi mungkin kalau Bapak Ibu ingin bertanya dalam bahasa Inggris silahkan, dalam bahasa Indonesia silahkan. Okay, so today I would like to share about the practical about informal digital learning environment. Okay, so facilitating students in learning intercultural competence with idle activities. Actually, this is, I have this kind of idea from the presentations Professor Lee Around 5 or 6 years ago. So we met in a conference in USA. Then after that, we have such kind of talk and also have some research project that we do together. So and last year I met him again. I met Professor Lee, and then there's this kind of slide that make me think about this. ELT teachers should notice that contemporary EFL students are spending a great deal of time involved with various idle activities outside of the classroom on their own initiative. So by having this kind of slides, I have to remember that most of the students now are very keen using their gadgets to learn or to know things that they want to know more. Ya, mungkin kita lihat Bapak Ibu, apa namanya, lihat mungkin anak-anak kita, mahasiswa kita misalnya izin 5 menit aja, pasti mereka sudah memegang handphone mereka. Is that right? Iya. Ya, jadi dengan cepat sekali mereka memanfaatkan. Jangankan anak-anak mahasiswa kita atau anak-anak kita sendiri sudah mulai dengan apa namanya habit seperti ini. Ya, so I think about the students' output intercultural communicative competence. Semester lalu saya mengajar CCU, we can call as the intercultural communicative competence, and the students is around 37. So I tried this kind of methods for my students. Okay, so this is why intercultural competence is important for our students. So they can having this kind of skills, culture, attitudes, and communications. This is very important when they have to go to work, when they have to meet new people, when they have to collaborate with other people. Jadi mereka membutuhkan keterampilan mendengarkan, keterampilan berpikir kritis, keterampilan untuk mengamati, keterampilan untuk menganalisa sesuatu. Kemudian selain itu ada seperti budaya. They have to know a little about identity. When we met Indian people, we can't make it the same with our culture. When we met Korean people, we learn new culture from the other people. Ya, seperti kalau saya sendiri, I learn Koreans by watching Korean drama. Ya, seperti Namsamida, kemudian apa lagi ya? Wait, so just a little, John. Okay, then self-awareness and also values. What about attitude? Ya, jadi ada keterbukaan, kemudian keingintahuan, kemudian apa namanya discovery, menemukan sesuatu dan respect each other. What about the communications? Non-verbal behavior, seperti misalnya senyum. Senyum yang seperti apa? Ya, macam-macam ya. Then talking about hands, yeah, and also dialogue, literacy, and language. So this is a very possible for our to learn new thing related to meet people. Moreover now, in online platform, we will learn a lot from this kind of skills. Okay, so this is intercultural competence. Intercultural competence is the ability to function effectively across cultures, to think and act appropriately, and to communicate and work with people from different cultural backgrounds at home or abroad, to interact with people from different cultures and countries who have been shaped by different values, beliefs, and experience. Intercultural competence is a part of family of concepts, including global competence, graduate attributes, employable, employability skills, global citizenship, education for sustainable development, and global employability. So this is very crucial for our students and prepare them how to interact with other people. Okay. Oh. So we need to have this kind of competence, intercultural communicative competence. I've taken Colm Byram thing about the 5 effective intercultural communications: empathy, respect, tolerance, sensitivity, and flexibility. Yeah. We know about this, but in practically sometimes we got difficulties and problems because of this kind of communications. So this is intercultural communicative competence. So this is theories and the concept from Byram. This is France. Yeah. So it took 4 competence: linguistic competence, sociolinguistic competence, discourse competence, and intercultural competence. And then it could be one thing, and we can learn from classrooms, fieldwork, and independent learning. So independent learning, we can say that this is one of example is informal digital learning environment. Okay, so this is the components of intercultural competence by Barrett: attitudes, knowledge and understanding, skills and actions. So in this case, we in the classroom, we can try to give exercise for the students how to have the knowledge building, and trying to understand that there are such kind of similarities and differences in our culture. And the second one is how this kind of knowledge change our attitudes and habits, and also give us such kind of skills, language skills, for example, skills for communications, for listening, for reading, for receptive and productive skills, and doing the actions. Okay, so this is how to develop intercultural competence. We can see that there is a kind of types of learning here: informal, independent, yeah, and also doing the experience, the principle of planning, and the implementation, learning by doing, project works, theme-based, cooperative learning. So this is related to the informal digital learning environment. And then activities types: social media. Okay, social media and other online tools such as video conference or teleconference. This one. Use of films and text. Yeah. Then we can see that there's this kind of drama, online drama, theater or movies, poetries, and creative writing. This is such kind of activities that we can improve our students' intercultural competence. And this is one of the evaluations using learner's diary and then autobiography or videos, etc. Okay, so this is my experience. I would like to say, talk about sharing about the teaching ICC in LT classroom. So I use this kind of book for giving scaffold basic knowledge for my students, multicultural manners, and it is so general. It is talking about food, this is talking about culture, this is talking about time, that's talking about religions. Yeah, so there are many kinds. There are about 30 topics that we talk about in multicultural manners. And in 2017, this is because of learning of this, and this is not only just reading the book, but also the students find such kind of websites, videos, and they can read, they can write a book. So this is the outcome. Yeah, so this is the output. Yeah, the output, the students' output. They write about the cultural awareness in Indonesia classroom. So they they observe, and also they noted some cases, and also trying to find how to solve the problems. Yeah. Okay, maybe we can see about the book later. Okay, so this is intercultural communicative competence that I tried in my classrooms. Activities inside the classroom, introducing intercultural manner, and then discussion about the intercultural manner, food, culture, and religions. And then we have a discussion, the topics in the classrooms. So we have before COVID age, we have 4 meetings. So we have discussed a lot about this kind of intercultural manner. And by having this kind of activities, I try to give the students knowledge building, attitudes, skills, experience, and finally they have such kind of output. And I'm trying to ask the students to participate, and then having interactions between them and also outside of the classrooms, and trying to have such kind of engagement. And this activities outside of the classroom. So after having inside of activities, then I ask the students to do some activities that can broaden their knowledge. They can broaden their experience. They can broaden their informations about intercultural manner. They can find such kind of short movies from YouTube, and also magazines, online magazine, and also some of them they would like to say in the past experience. And after that, they learn about the tools, how they can find by themselves what the tools that they can choose for communicate with others, and having experience in knowing about people in some countries, and also trying to respect the other people in learning new cultures. So by having this kind of activity, they can have such kind of interactions and engagement with new friends. So before they find by themselves, I have students. Actually, I learned from my student also. He is Mbak Dinda. I asked her to create this kind of YouTube to share with the junior. So, Mbak Dinda, maybe we can play this video so you know her, and you may click and subscribe if you like. Okay, I will play.
Diaktifkan Bu, share some.
Repot banget ya, ampun deh. Sorry, I can't. That's how. I'm not co-host.
Dilanjutkan Bu. Ibu co-host, sudah Ibu co-host, bisa dilanjut.
This is not good.
Dilanjut Bu, bisa.
Can you hear the voice?
Iya, boleh, bisa. dengar. Dilanjutkan Bu, sudah bisa Ibu sebagai co-host, bisa dilanjutkan.
This is not good. I can't. Sudah belum? Bisa?
Bisa Bu.
This one?
Tidak ada masalah di sistem. Ya,
You may try
tidak
by
ada masalah.
yourself, but in this video
Ini
I
nggak
only
bagus
want
ini,
to
Pak.
make
Kalau kayak
3
gini.
tutorials only.
Faktor jaringan Bu.
Kembali.
That's not good. That's not good.
3 sites are the safest ones among all of them.
Okay, so the first.
Yep.
Audionya masuk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you can watch by yourself. This is just kind of tools that we can use for having intercultural communicative competence. You can use Omegle, YouTube, Pulse, Bottle, Tandem. And this is the things that we can share with our students. Yeah. So the students can choose by themselves what is the suitable tools that they can use to communicate with others. Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay, so because of the pandemic, so I moved to online platform. I use Spada, and then I interact with my students through this kind of platform, and then I try to give us such kind of instructions how to do the activities inside of the classrooms, inside of the platform, and outside of the platform. And we learn about food waste, health practice, and holidays. And because of the topic, so hopefully that this is still in context, I asked them to watch a video about COVID-19 in China, in Wuhan, and also they can try to find such kind of similarities and differences, what happens in Indonesia. Yeah. But actually, maybe some of us have already do this kind of activity, but sometimes that we don't realize that this is one of the informal digital learning environment that the students can do at home. Yeah, okay, so I skip this. And we also learn about time, verbal expressions, and clearing cultural confusions. Yeah. Okay, so this is the response from the students. When they got friends from other countries using such kind of tools, this is the response from the students. It's very fun. We learn something new. Even though we never go to their country, but we know how they live there, or maybe one day we will going abroad, then we already know how we should act in other countries. I got many friends from Bottle. Oh, so this is Bottle, the applications, not Bottle, bukan botol ya. Jadi dari aplikasi itu dia dapat teman, ada yang dari Amerika, ada yang dari Inggris, ada dari Korea Selatan ya, from the South Korea, from India, from Pakistan, from Tajikistan, so many kind of countries they come from. So my students have such kind of experience. They don't have any experience going to other countries. So they are very happy to having this kind of activity. I think you should find Indian cars. They are very friendly. So sometimes, though this is a formal classrooms, but sometimes they mix. This is one of the risks that we got. And also because they communicate each other between them. That sounds so interesting. Any celebrations is always interesting, and I can feel the atmosphere from the picture. It must be nice to celebrate the spring in Indonesia. Also, those food make me starving right now. It looks so delicious. So this is some response from other country students. Okay, this is another response. I have good experience in communicating with friends from abroad. I have friends from India, Turkey, France, South Korea, Malaysia, Spain, and Lebanon. At first, I felt a little awkward to talk with them, but as time went by, I was comfortable and not confused anymore to look for the conversation topics with them. So this is such kind of a shock, culture shock sometimes, though this is in a written communications, but sometimes it gives us such kind of difficulties for the language learners to try and start to communicate. Yeah, this is another response. All my foreign friends are so kind. Actually, I got lots of bottle from bottle apps, but not all of them stay in the long-term chat. There are still few though from Turkey and India. They are all either talkative or share the same interests as me. I got some new information about their culture, and the unique one is from Turkey. So it is long passages, and I just predict that the students is very interested in. It's very interested to have this kind of activity. Okay, so let's learn from other student stories. Okay, sorry. And okay, I have um, some of the stories. Please wait. I can use it for this one because this is still in my research. But this is a very interesting to know about the student stories. Yep. Okay, please wait. Okay. So this is such kind of the students' stories. Yeah. First of all, let me introduce myself and my Interpols. My name is Adrian. Okay. My Interpol's name from China is Sunwei. To be honest, I don't know. Okay. Then she knows her friends or his friends from a bottle. And then this is a kind of a chat. Yeah. To be honest, this is my first time having communications and friendship with other people from other side of the world. So it is very stressful and confusing for me. When I start chatting with them, usually I start with just hi and then followed by asking their day. Then I start to introduce my name and nations. After that, I don't know what should I say anymore. but thanks to God, they are so talkative. So yeah, this makes me feel so shy. Okay, then so they learn about the other cultures. Maybe this is simple, this is general, but we can see that they learn other people. They learn about the similarities and differences, and they learn to start to communicate. Yeah, so this is very crucial for our students to have this kind of ability. Okay, so this is some examples. So um, in this case, that the teachers should facilitate the students in having such kind of activities that can broaden their mind, they can build their knowledge, and also they can have the experience. Ya, kalau tidak salah, kampus Merdeka ini nanti juga experiential learning. Jadi bagaimana siswa-siswa kita juga bisa apa itu namanya, langsung bereksperimen, langsung mempunyai pengalaman langsung bagaimana berkomunikasi dengan orang-orang dari luar Indonesia. Ya, so back again to this one. So before having, okay, so, yep. So informal digital learning for in ELT classrooms, this is self-directed, though in this case, the teacher should give such kind of activities, how to design the classrooms, and then they can continue their own learning by trying to find such kind of suitable activities for them. In this case also, informal English learning using a range of different digital devices. So we can use mobile phones, we can use any tools that's suitable for the students. And resources independent of formal context. In a formal context, so we can find some resources that help our students to have intercultural communicative competence. Okay, thank you for the presentations. I back again to Ibu Dewi.
Okay, thanks a lot, Miss Nur Arifah. So we have listened to the theoretical things about digital learning, informal digital learning environment, and also we have like some kind of examples from Ibu about the practical thing, what she has done to her students. So we also know that there are some kind of benefits. There are a lot of benefits from informal digital learning environment, like the example that have been mentioned by Professor Lee previously about some people learning English just from YouTube without even going to schools to learn English. And also some of the examples from the from Ibu about the response of the students about this digital learning environment. So if you do have any questions, all the participants related to the topic today, please feel free to raise your hand, and then we let you talk directly to the speakers. Or if you're shy, kalau misalnya agak malu-malu, boleh bisa you can type in the chat box. Boleh di chat saja, diketik di chat boxnya. You can maybe you can say it in Indonesia or in English, because we'll try to tell to the speakers. Okay, so We got some people raising their hand. Maybe we start from Imelda. Can you can unmute your audio, your speaker, sorry.
Okay, thank you very much to moderator who has given us time, especially for me to give comment for both speakers, wondering speakers of our special webinar today. Very, very interesting, and I'm very grateful because I'm joining this webinar. Let me say something about myself. I am Imelda Wahyuni, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I'm teaching about languages in IAIN Kendari. Assalamualaikum Ibu narasumber and Mr. Prof. Lee.
Yes.
And then I would like to just to hear what did you express or describe to all of participants today. I've got your point about the empowerment, especially for Ibu Nur Arfa. Have you said for the practicing in language learning in English? As we know, pandemic or the time of learning is just be cutting by all media or in digitally tools. And then I would like to hear, or I'm just wondering if you can explain to me how to manage our environment without contact or interact with another. Looks like just do our independent study by searching any digital tools, and then we just can keep contact with our audience, especially with our students. And then to another speaker, Prof. Lee, I just wondering if you can describe to me how did you choose or how did you divide some of the digital tools to do your idle in your special classroom? Maybe it's just to be learned English about English, but especially as not second language, but especially about foreign language. As you know that in Indonesia, we have studied about more than 3 or 4 language, foreign language, but is the familiar one is English and Arabic, and the languages is just to be learned in a formally, not informally education, start from the primary until the higher education. But as you know that English is a very popular in all of the media. We can contact or we can hear well from the news, from the what can I say, from the any various of game and any various of resource we can googling. But I would like to hear from you, how does be easily to understand our position or our needing to learn or to lead to teach about that language, especially English, because we know in the fact all the students just enjoy their time by googling, and more than of their tool is by YouTube. I think YouTube is be a good teacher for them. YouTube can make they are expressing their pronunciation and their ability to just now you said about the receptive and productive. They are very productive by see or by watching the movie or watching the YouTube that they access from the online resource. I think it's enough. Thank you so much, and nice to hear about your presentation today. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Miss Imelda. So, for the speakers, do you want me to collect like some questions, or you want to try to answer it directly?
Okay, I just want to try to answer directly, Ibu.
Okay,
Okay,
then. Yes.
yeah, thank you for the questions, Ibu. Yeah, so actually, in my case, so I trying to practice this informal digital learning environment in my classroom. The most important thing here is the teacher, how to facilitate the classrooms, how to facilitate the students using this kind of activities. But in this case, we have to give us such kind of basic knowledge for our students about the intercultural communicative competence. That's the first thing that we have to remember. And the second one, the activity here, this is such kind of using such kind of tools, for example, Skype, and also WhatsApp also, and Bottle from Omegle, and etc. It is only just a tool. So a tool cannot do anything, cannot improve anything. But here, we try to actually not force, but it is like facilitating, facilitate our students with this kind of activity by having some friends from other countries. Yeah, we can see that all of my students doesn't have any experience to go abroad. Moreover, nowadays. So this is such kind of activity that can make them to have the experience how to communicate with other people using such kind of tools that it is great for giving, not the tools, but the activity that give the students experience, to communicate with the new people using their English. Sometimes they get confused, and also they got ashamed in communicate with other people, but they can start. And after about 3 months, the students have that kind of attitude. They have respect to other people, culture. They learn new things from other cultures. They have new friends also. So they can make use of their language, moreover, in learning English and using this kind of language with other people all around the world. So that's the point that we try to facilitate our student with this kind of activity. So still, teachers is the one that are very important here to facilitate the students with benefits for the students in learning something. Okay, that is hopefully that it is satisfy with your questions. Yeah. Thank you, Mbak Dewi.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ibu Nur. Then let's hear from the opinion from Professor Lee.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for wonderful question. I think there were many questions. I think I can discuss. I can respond to your question from maybe parent perspective and teacher perspective, And also, given the COVID-19, I can also address that from the post-COVID-19, the world perspective. I think if you can provide this informal language learning environment to your kids, it's beneficial. Because I have talked to many parents, not only in Korea, but many different parts of the world. If parents can create this informal environment at home by providing them a book, also providing them some media such as YouTube or animations or musics constantly on a regular basis, it's good because of the two things, two aspects. Number one, those young learners feel positive about the language, the second language. Usually, some parents, some kids have some negative emotions toward the target language or the second language because it's different from their first language. But if they love to watch animations, for example, and if they watch animations in the target language, such as Arabic or English, they have a positive emotions toward that language, which is good. And then cognitively, if you provide the language constantly through those informal media, the kids will naturally embrace those language without realizing they are learning the language. When you have like adolescent language learners or adult language learners, I think teachers can play a major role, as Arifa mentioned, because I'm not expert in Indonesia, but in Korea, for example, the formal language classroom focus mainly on the education. So education means focus so much on the grammar or vocabulary or reading, translation. So focus more on the cognitive aspects of English language learning. It creates some problem in terms of the productive skills, like not only listening, but also the speaking, communication. So how can a teacher strike a balance between this receptive and productive skill? Of course, you can follow your national curriculum in the classroom, but maybe once a week, maybe once or twice every month, you can introduce this informal language practice to your students. Like Buaripa design some activities students can do and use or expose the language outside of the classroom, and they experience the authentic English, and they meet the authentic the language users in an authentic environment, and students feel very positive about that, and then they can also experience other cultures which they cannot do in the classroom. So in that respect, I think teachers play an important role. And lastly, given the current and the post-COVID-19, like 21st century digital era, I think this intercultural communication is critical, and for EFL learners, those students who are learning the target language in the monolingual environment, I think this digital environment can provide a venue where our target students can become exposed to the target language and meet other target language users as an English user rather than English learner. And in that respect, again, the teachers who know this concept, who know the pedagogy, and who know the local context, who know your students' ICT situation, because some students do not have like mobile device or laptop. So all things together, I think you can design the context specific and locally appropriate these idle or the local language learning activities for your students. And I think this phenomenon in the post COVID-19 era will be increasing because we are now moving to the online language learning or language educations. So those who implement this idea into the classroom will thrive.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for the answer. We only have 15 minutes left actually, so maybe I will choose some of the questions from the chat first before we let some people to ask. One of the questions for Ibu Nur Arifa, how active learning is during the COVID-19 so that learning can be established? That's the first question. And the second one, he wants to know what kind of application that the teacher can use, because all people will know how to program, and not all people will know about the application. So can you please give idea, Ibu Nur? Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the technical things. So this is I have to unmute myself first. Then okay. Actually, I would like to play the video. So you can use this kind of tools to connect it with other people all around the world. This is I learned from my students. So this is a great student. I think she is Mbak Dinda. Okay, sorry. So I will play the video. I asked her to create this video. So from I think what Professor Ju said, from receptive, then going to productive. Receptive, Mbak Dinda used the tools and also trying to communicate with other people 7 years ago. And after that, she can trying to describe whether the tools or not the tools, sorry, the application is good or not so good or bad for the teenagers to start to have the communications in finding new friends. Okay, so this is some of the applications that can be used for the students to find their friends. Some of them is not good, yeah, but that depend on us again, yeah, depend on us again if this is what is the suitable tools that we can use. So this is the video.
Assalamualaikum. Hey guys, my name is Dinda. In this video,
Sorry.
Assalamualaikum. Hey guys, my name is Dinda. In this video, I'm going to talk about apps or sites that I've been using to get online friends from foreign countries. I've been using these apps since 6 or 7 years ago when I was in high school. That's why I know the negative and positive ones, which are better than the others. But I want to tell you what kind of apps or sites that I've been using. So, these are the apps.
Okay. So this is the app.
You may try by yourself, but in this video I only want to make 3 tutorials only because I consider these 3 sites are the safest ones among all of them.
Okay, so the first app is Battle. You can find it in App Store or Play.
Okay, yeah. Sebentar. Yeah.
Where
Sorry.
the bottles come from?
I didn't. Okay. I don't know how to stop this. Okay, please let me solve the problem. Okay. Stop. Share. Okay, can you hear the video?
Yeah.
Bu Dewi? Bisa?
Now not.
No. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, I think that we can, I don't know how to, yeah. I'm sorry that I can't, sorry. Sebentar. Okay. Finally, this is off because of the technical. Then I will share the PowerPoint so everyone can learn the tools that we can use for participating or trying to find friends from other countries, and also what the things that we have to prepare for our students is if we have to apa ya namanya ya, memberikan rambu-rambu begitu. Jadi tidak juga lepas begitu saja, tetapi juga harus diberikan rambu-rambu. Jika sudah melenceng atau tidak bagus komunikasinya, saya harapkan siswa-siswa bisa kembali ke jalur yang benar karena ada topik-topik tertentu. It is not a free topics, but there are some topics that they have to talk with other friends. This only just facilitating the students to communicate actively, but in such kind of a positive way. Yeah, because we know that some application tools sometimes give bad effect for students. Yeah, I cannot say about this, but it happens to some of my students also. Ya, jadi nanti untuk tools-nya bisa dilihat di PPT, di slides. Begitu, Bu Dewi?
Okay, thank you, because like many people are actually asking about your PowerPoint, and also whether they can get the PowerPoint from Professor Lee as well. So if the participant can get it, then that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
Even there's some also participant also ask about the email of the speakers. If they may get it, then we need your approval first.
Yeah.
I think we still have time for one questions. Maybe I will let some people from the participants. Oh, this one. Maybe Ibu Sri Andayani, if you still want to ask the question. Ibu Sri Andayani. Okay, or not? Okay. Then I will take from the chat again. We still have questions. Some participants from Universitas Kebangsaan Malaysia, the PhD candidate, actually asking about how to make, as a parent, like how to make your children learn using, like if you like apply the ideal in the at home, and then how you make your children learn. I think it is about parents initiated process. And then one more about how about the peer interaction, especially during this pandemic. These questions is actually asked for both of the speakers. So can I have maybe Professor Lee first?
The role of the parents?
Yeah, like parent initiated in IDLE. How to make them learn, the children learn. as a parent.
So last week, I had the opportunity to talk to one of the Hong Kong parents who raise 3 kids who are bilingual. Maybe they are multilingual, and they had no international experience. And their the oldest daughter speak English with the native accents, and she quite very fluent in both the Cantonese and English. So I asked her, "Oh, how did you raise your children bilingually or multilingually?" And she said, uh, during the childhood, she bought books. The books like with a lot of pictures. So because they have the resources, the kids during the childhood spend time reading books. And then second thing they did was, now that the kids know the content of the book, they bought a DVD that is about the books. So now students know the content of the book. Now they are watching the same contents from the DVD. So they can now hear and they can watch, and they can watch some moving images. But through audio, they receive the input. And then here's another interesting thing. She has 2 siblings. So she and her brother, they consume the same content in English. Now they start they talking to each other in English. I ask why? Why did you use English to communicate? They say it's difficult to translate from English to their first language to explain about what they saw from the movie, from the animation, from the books. So they just speak English language. And another interesting thing was there was a cousin who also watched the same animation content. And when they gather together, they speak to each other in English. So I think maybe very simple principle here we can find is, first of all, parents need to provide them the resource. It can be books, it can be TV, it can be animation, movies, it can be YouTube's. And then also provide them an opportunity to talk about those content with others. It can be parents, it can be mother. If the mother can speak the English, I think the mother can respond to the kids' English, like, "Oh, please tell me about the contents. Wow, it's amazing. Can you tell me more?" So you just elicit the kids' curiosity and the interest, because kids want to be talkative, right? And also create an environment where maybe their brothers and sisters can talk to each other. If they have a peer, friends or cousins who watch the same content in the English language, they can use the language without going abroad. I think that's very simple but practical step parents can do.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So that's one of the examples. And then let's hear from Ibu Nur Arifah. Yeah.
Actually, in my classroom, I use, while this is in a COVID age, I use online platform, I use Spada. For having the interaction between the students, they get interactions in discussions. Maybe I can show you. Okay, please wait. Spada. So this is the Spada. So the students have such kind of activities that they can discuss each other about their findings, and also they can share their experience in having this kind of friends with the topic, and also they can also share about their new knowledge from communications with their friends. So between the students and the students, they have interactions, such kind of here. We can see that this is finding and sharing stories. Yeah, they only just write about to they can share. Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. So yeah. So I use this kind of platform to facilitate the students to discuss. And also the other things, they also interact and also such kind of having engagement with their friends from other countries. Until now, they still continue their friendship and try to communicate each other. So this is such kind of example how they have such kind of interactions. They use WhatsApp, they use such kind of tools to communicate. So this is my student have a friend from USA and UK or Australia, and sometimes they got difficulty in communications because of the time difference. But so they didn't have any direct feedback or direct response. But it we can see that this is such kind of participations and interactions and activity that they can do for communications. Yeah. So wow, we in Indonesia also have similar belief, but in Indonesia just meet black cat if ill will not brings bad luck. Oh, okay. So this is such kind of communications that and also interactions that they create by themselves. Yeah, with certain topics that we discussed previously in the classroom. Yeah. Okay, Bu Dewi.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So actually we got a lot of questions, but because of the time, so I think we're gonna end the question and answer session today. But before that, maybe do you have like a closing statement related to the topic or related to the English teaching in general to all the speakers? Professor Lee and also Ibu Nur Arifah.
Professor Lee first.
Okay.
Oh, okay. In closing, I'd like to I'd like to mention the importance of the belief. It could be teacher or parents, because what we believe influence our behavior. So all the things we have discussed today is related to the non-pedagogical digital resources like good game, YouTube, Netflix, Instagram, Twitter, like fan fiction, music. These are not genetically designed for language learning or language learning or language practice. But what we normally use as a teacher in the classroom is like a Nearpod or the Moodle or Google Classroom, all of which are designed for the language learning or education. So I think first step, most important thing is the teacher need to be open-minded toward these ICT resources, because if you are not positive about this, I don't think you're gonna integrate this idea into action. Second of all, when I teach like a professional development program with a teacher in Hong Kong, many teachers, especially the seasoned teacher, have some anxiety or digital phobia. So because they don't even know how to log in, and they don't even know how to open the website, and they are like, oh. But over after 3 or 4 days, what I observe is they gain confidence, and then they try more, and then at the end of the program, they gain a lot of confidence. So in the same way, I think it's important for teacher and parents to experience the new technologies. So making mistake is a natural process. I do encourage you to use as many as many new digital resources and digital tools. and you learn by making mistakes. Again, someone mentioned learning by doing, right? We learn by making mistakes. So please explore many digital resources and use it in and outside of the classroom. It decrease your anxiety, like ICT anxiety, and also build up your ICT competence. Lastly, I also talk about your belief about students. If you hold a constructive belief, which means if you believe the learning take place through student center teaching, I think you are more likely to integrate this technology into your classroom, in and outside of the classroom appropriately. Because if you have the belief that you are the boss, you are the authoritarian, you need to dominate the classroom, I don't think you are going to use technology. You may use technology for maybe very low level, like a drilling and dictation and quizzes. But like Arifa's example, if you have a student center belief, I think whatever technology may be, you are going to use that, and you are going to design that activity for the student. Student be active, they are the designer, and they are going to use it as a active user. So that's my final closing remark. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Lee, for the closing remark. So we need to be open-minded. And then, so let's listen to Ibu Arifah. Can we
Okay.
hear your final comment?
Yeah, actually the same with Prof. Lee, but in this case that the teachers, we have to learn a lot. Maybe we can learn a lot from our students' activities. By having this kind of learning, we can design what the things that the students like to do. Um, and we try to facilitate the students with more appropriate materials, with more appropriate activities that help them to have a basic knowledge and also have such kind of attitude and give value for our students with the new experience with them. So they can use this kind of experience for the future. So trying to learn new things. And I would like to inform for the participants, Professor Lee, I will also trying to inform that next on August, Teflin with in collaborations with Education University of Hong Kong would like to create teacher professional development for teachers in Indonesia. And we invite you all to join with this program. You will got new knowledge, hopefully, and also you got the 32 hours certificates. Yep. Okay, thank you for this kind of opportunity. Thank you, Ibu Dewi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation and also explanations and even like practical examples for about the idol. It's really helpful, especially for us, the teacher. I'm also one of the teachers, so I learned a lot from your presentations. But before before we end, I think the host, the Language Education Center, want to share this certificate to the speakers. So I hand over to the host, Mr. Iqbal, please. Hello. While waiting for the host to share the certificate for the speak. Oh yes, we got now. So yep. So here is the token of appreciation in form of certificate for Professor Ju Sung Lee. We are very thankful that having you here as the presenter.
Oh, thank you very much.
And then, yeah, despite of the technical problem. And then we also have for Ibu Dr. Nur Arifah Drajati. Thank you very much for having us as the host and then explain everything, explain practical things. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, maybe next time. Okay. Well, that's all. That's all the session for today. And then we are very sorry that we cannot answer all the questions. And then for all the participants who need the certificate, then you need to fill, harus diisi form sertifikatnya ya. You can find in group chat the link. And also for those who want to get the PowerPoint, Ibu Nur Arifah dengan baik hati ingin kita boleh dapat, we can get the PowerPoint. Iya kan Bu ya?
Sure. We will share the slides.
Thank you very much. And then we also can get from the email from Professor Lee. And then I think you can go like Google it and then type the name of the Professor Lee, and then you can find a lot of information about Professor Lee and also Ibu Dr. Nur Arifah. So I think that's all for this session today. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.